Alright, today we're having a look at Platforming Perils by TonyTwoGunz. Alright, so here we are in Platforming Perils by TonyTwoGunz, and I screwed up my timer, so I'm really happy about that. Starting off, love the nostalgia factor of the mini scoreboard. Wondering how we're gonna get over there. I just came off playing Inner Circle by TonyTwoGunz for the archive, and I was thoroughly impressed by it. I was like, well, I gotta peep this. The funny thing was, like, it listed me as having played Inner Circle. It listed me as having liked Inner Circle without playing it, so... Oh, fudge! Oh gosh, okay, I see how that works. I'm gonna be looking at the timer, like, constantly, because I accidentally... I fudged it up, and I'm not doing that yet, but I will be, and I hate it. Okay, flip. Thank you. Now, this is listed as a medium to hard level. Are seeing a little bit more precision required, just a little bit more precision required than I saw in, hello, Brain Meats. You know, Inner Circle, that level that Risuko, you know, you didn't need to die there, is the thing. You totally didn't need to die there. Or there. You know? Like, and this is forgiving. This is not... We're not in, like, hard realm yet. I'm liking the look. I'm liking how clean it looks. Okay, that's gonna be tough. Well, okay, maybe not tough. Maybe tough is the wrong word. But it looked like it was going to be tough, so... Timing? I am the... Ooh, I hate that! Not gonna make it! Nope. Okay. Gonna make it this time. I noticed it, like, right at the last second. See, this is one of those things that makes the really hard levels difficult for me, is that I don't notice things quickly, and I don't react quickly. I'm very much a more leisurely gal, you know, take your time, at your own pace type of deal, and that's not how these levels really work. You do kind of fudge. You do kind of have to notice things a little bit quicker than you normally would. I keep on looking at the timer too, and I can't be doing that. Risuko, you can't be doing that. That's not how that works. But yeah, this is, as far as, like, as hard levels go, this is a lot more forgiving than when I tried to play last night. She says, as she dies, we can get this. It's also, like, a lot nicer looking than the one that I tried playing last night. I failed so badly at what I'm trying to say is that... Oh crap! We are, like, over time? Buggery. Well, we're gonna have to go back to the hub. I wish I could have shown you more, but that's how it goes. And we'll see you there. See yas! And we're back, and Platforming Perils by TonyTwoGunz, and it's, I would say that it's an orange diamond, but I do need to be upfront that I was not able to complete the level. I feel like I played enough of it to get a really good feel of it, but I can understand that some people may want to take this review with a grain of salt, but I honestly fell in love with the level up to a particular point, a particular obstacle that we're going to be discussing, because I feel like this level does a lot of good. There's a ton of positive points about the level. I think it serves as for the most part, a really easy introduction to a lot of the kind of hard mode obstacles and setups that you'll see in that genre of levels. You've got, like, all of the classic bits of hard mode stuff. You've got flinging yourself through gaps when you're on a moving object, and those, you know, got hazards on either side of it. You've got like jumping over a little hill of spiky hazards when you've got electricity or some other hazard up on top of it. So you've got, like, a precision jump in there. You've got monkey bars that are spaced out just enough that you'll be able to get through them, but it'll feel pretty tricky, and dropping off those monkey bars onto a moving object, which is a fairly tough thing to do. We see that a lot in these types of levels. You've got dropping down a shaft where you've got the walls are going to come in and squish you. There's jumping off of glass with spikes on the glass that are, you know, going to kill you if you don't jump at the right point. Like, there's a lot in this level that you see in these hard mode, you know, TM type levels, but the way that the obstacles are set up, for the most part, I feel like they're much more forgiving than you tend to encounter. So it's like, it's really good practice for this is how these types of obstacles tend to get set up, and you can work on them in this environment where, like, you've only got that one obstacle to work on. It's usually pretty friendly as far as spacing and timing, and it's capped off on either end by checkpoints, so you're not like losing a lot of progress in it. And a lot of times I noticed that the obstacles are, not a lot of times, but a number of times I did notice that the obstacles are set up in ways that are a little bit easier for kind of like a first time hard mode player to engage with than you would see in a lot of the hard mode levels. A really good example that I noticed was you've got this bit where you're jumping up onto a number of platforms that are all exactly the same length, and you've kind of got to jump out, around, and over to get onto the next one, and you're kind of doing that almost like a ladder all the way up, and, you know, jumping off the right and then kind of swinging around on top of the platform. A lot of times when I've seen that type of obstacle, and the platforms you're jumping on are rectangular platforms, so it's really easy to catch your head on the corner of the platform above you. It makes it pretty tough to actually do the swing around to get up onto the top. These ones have got a triangular bit that are cut off, you know, on that edge, cut off on that corner, so that you've got just a little bit, you know, of an easier path, an easier arc to get up to where you're going, and kind of a way to practice what is a fairly common obstacle, and a fairly frustrating obstacle in a lot of hard levels. And I really love that about this level, is that it bills itself as medium to hard, and I do think that for the most part, except for the one obstacle, that it nails that. It's like this really nice, good transitional difficulty between those two types of play and the two types of level design. That's really, really great. Something else that I particularly love, I always go on about presentation. I do feel that presentation is important, making a level not, you know, only play nice but look nice. But a lot of times you see these hard levels and they just honestly kind of look like garbage. They just look like trash, and I understand why, because a lot of these levels, they're quite large. You've got a lot of obstacles and hazards. I killed myself. I've got a lot of obstacles, you've got a lot of hazards, it takes up a lot of thermo, and so yeah, like cut corners on the way that they're presented. And some of them, it's kind of like a meme format where they're just ugly levels and they're doing it on purpose. I kind of hate those. This one has got a really crisp, really clean look to it. Very solid material choices that contrast against each other really well, so that everything is super clear in how you engage with the level. The choice of the deep blue glass to represent the electrical hazard, because I've mentioned a number of times in reviews that I tend to struggle a lot with the electrical hazard, because the white lightning bolt bit doesn't show up on lighter materials really, really well. It's quite easy to get lost, and because a lot of creators are building kind of in a diegetic sense, so if they're going to have electricity, usually it's on something like metal, you know, a light gray or a bright gray, where the lightning bolts don't contrast very well against that. It's very easy to get the effect lost and then not quite realize what is the hazard, or where is the hurt box of the hazard. That blue stands out so clearly. It's so easy to see, and the white lightning bolts on it stand out clearly themselves, so that you know immediately it's a hazard. And even though the grabbable bits in the level are represented by that kind of lighter blue with a little bit of like white piping on it because it's a sticker, and you could argue a little bit that they're close, but I really don't think they are. And I think if you give them a good look, you're going to be able to tell, yeah, no, those are pretty different materials. They stand out really well. The gray textured wall, like that stone wall background where it's got the white like concrete, not concrete, but the caulking in between the stones. Like, it's a nice looking background for the wall, and then you've got that light tan wood that stands out really well against that. So it's like everything in the environment. The white spikes, coloring the spikes white so that they're really, really poppy. They grab the eyes. You know exactly where they are and what they're going to be doing. Like, all of that it's quite inspired. I think that these are great material choices for the level, and like all of these bits are really great. The one minor-ish, I guess, down point, detraction I could say about, aside from the obstacle, is you do have one bit where you're on these platforms. The top of the platform is electrified, and you've got to grab underneath it. And then they're moving back and forth, and you want to kind of get underneath the next one and underneath the next one. It's tricky, but it's totally doable. But like the last one in that set, you can't actually see where you're dropping down to, and that's not. I don't think that's the best. It's maybe a little bit unavoidable from the way they've got the cameras set up in that section. But like that's the one point where I felt like maybe it's a little bit unclear to the player, maybe a little bit unfair, but it's not really that bad, and everything else is really, really clear. So I've got all these great things to say about the level, and I really enjoyed the level. I thought it was great. So then why is it an orange diamond? And we come to the crux. It's really funny because I was looking through the reviews after I played through the third time, and there's one of the reviews like specifically calls out the bit in almost the language that I was thinking of using, that I used in the first time that I recorded this, the takeaway section here. This obstacle is, you've got like 5 little like pits that are defined by thin material walls, and you've got these pillars with spikes on them that are dropping down from the top. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to jump in, the little pit, hop over to the wall, hop over the wall, hop over the wall, hop over the wall, do that 5 times, and then you get to the end of it. And the spikes, like as soon as you drop into that pit, the spikes slowly drop down over you. And what you're supposed to do, and what I was able to do 4 out of 5 times fairly consistently, is you're supposed to pause just for a bit. You're supposed to slow down and jump from almost directly underneath the spikes. You're supposed to just like do a slight tap on the jump button and then not touch the air controls until you're actually like in the air to push you over, because if you jump while holding over, you'll hit the wall, it'll kill your momentum, you'll get stuck in the pit, and then the spikes will drop down on top of you. And it's so different from all of the other obstacles that have come up in this section. The way that you need to manage your timing in that, and the misdirection of it, because like everything is telling you to do it quickly, everything is telling you to jump and move as fast as you can, and that's the exact opposite of what you're supposed to be doing. The fact that you can't really see where the trigger zone on the spikes are, because they will start to go up if you jump in the right spot and you jump like the right height, and like it feels like a piece that's out of a different level. It feels like a piece that's had a completely different difficulty curve building up to that, because nothing else in the level really builds on that type of obstacle. It doesn't build on that type of engagement, and so you've kind of got to rewrite the way that you're doing these obstacles on the fly to deal with this new problem. And the timing is tight. Like, you've got time to pause. You have to actually pause and kind of consider a little bit. But that's just it, like you just got a little bit. Most all of the other obstacles in the level, save for like one where they've got rotators that like spin you fairly quickly and you've got to like let go at the right point, but even those are pretty forgiving. You can kind of let go of the rotator for a moment to let it reset and grab it before you actually fall down into the hazard. So like that's not even quite the same. You've got that precision jump that I talked about a little bit earlier, where you've got like the little hill of spikes, and then you've got the electricity over top. That is calling for a little bit more of a precise jump, but the timing on that is completely different because you can pause before each one, and there's a sequence of them. You can pause before each one and kind of think, well, where do I need to jump, or like how fast do I need to be going? Here, you've got to do it. You got to do it 5 times in a row. You can't screw up any of those times, or you get reset back to the start. And I did my best, folks. I honestly did my best. I played through 3 times. I've got well over an hour of footage just of that hazard. Just me failing that hazard for an hour. I don't feel salty. Honestly, this isn't like when we did shock therapy ages back, and that level made me so angry. Like, I was just like, I'm gonna beat this level just to show that it's a badly made level. I think this is a great level. The level presented a hazard, and it was beyond my skill level to engage with, and so I had to step away, and I feel satisfied to an extent with stepping away from it. I don't feel satisfied as a reviewer. That kind of makes me a little bit cheesed off, because I want to be able to review and also archive things in their fullest, in their completion, so I can give you the best idea of what's going on. But like, as just a player, it's like, okay, yeah, you know what? For where I am right now, I just can't do this, and that's okay, because I can see that it's not sloppy. Like, Tony's put a lot of work into this. It's like, it's got just the right height on those walls, it's got just the right timing on those spikes, and it's unfortunately just the wrong hazard for what we've seen come before. This would go much better in a level that is like harder out the gate, that has a sharper difficulty curve, and that is pushing that particular type of obstacle. And that's really why I pull it down to a orange diamond instead of a yellow square, although I do feel like arguments could be made that it is being a yellow square is because it's like so out of sync with the rest of the level, and it's such a surprise. And I feel like a lot of players, like maybe like hard mode players, folks who engage with those types of levels all the time and have no problems with them, like maybe they'll be like, oh yeah, this is nothing burger, I can just go right through this. But I think like you're in between range of skill, your average to slightly above average skill level players are gonna run into that and be like, what the hell? Like, why is it such a difficulty jump here? Why this spike? And I don't think they would be wrong in that assessment, and I feel like a lot of players probably bounce. I checked the stats, and it's got about like a 1/5 completion ratio, which like I don't think is really unfair for the type of level that it is. And I appreciate that a lot of folks gave it the good college try. I hope they gave it the good college try, and you know, they got to the point probably where I did and said, you know what, this one's a little bit too much. So yeah, like I feel all kinds of ways about this. It's a great level. Like, the level is great, and even that obstacle is great, but they don't match. They don't fit together, and that's really that's the big negative of it. Otherwise, like I would recommend it up to that obstacle, like just for the practice on hard mode stuff. I really enjoyed it. Another level, and something I need to point out, this level's actually locked. You've actually got to get a key to this level. You can pick up the key in either inner circles or cubed, and both of those levels are fabulous levels. They're amazing levels. Inner circles is this, you know, really neat, really coolly presented, like heavily mechanical, heavily movement-based level of, I'd say, like low to medium difficulty, so it's really easy to engage with for just about anyone, and it's like, it's super awesome. I think it's an amazing level. And cubed is, I think cubed is like, the difficulty curve on cubed is what the difficulty curve should have been in this one, where it's a little bit harder, but not very much harder, but still it feels very like introductory to the hard TM style of gameplay, the hard TM style of building. It's got a great look to it. It's got a really cool set of obstacles. It's tough, it's challenging, but it's not like overly challenging. If you're a mid-range player, or if you're playing a little bit tired, I think it might give you a fair amount of trouble. But like even then, I think if you push, you could probably beat it and have a pretty satisfactory feeling coming out of it. Like, yeah, I did it. So like Inner Circle, definite hard recommend. Cubed, definite hard recommend. Play those, get the key to this level, and see how you do. I'd love to hear your experiences with this one. I'd love to hear if they match up with my own. And yeah, I think that pretty much does it. I've got big news. We go a little bit over time here, but I'm on estrogen. I'm on the E, folks. I'm on the E. I went to the clinic today, and they were just like, yeah, like let's get this party started. And I'm like, yeah, let's get this party started. And I'm so happy. I know this is not the I know this is like this is the train that I'm on now. This is the transition. This is the journey in a medical sense. I mean, the transition journey has been going on for the past 5 years, 4 years, but like, you know, but the medical side like starts here. It doesn't end here. But I'm so excited and relieved, and yeah, like, I'm in a great mood. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank all of you so much. Just the support has been amazing. It's gotten me through some pretty tough times, and I've got just wonderful people in my community, people that I can honestly say that I love, people that I can honestly say feel like family to me, and they've had my back like for this whole experience, and it means everything. So green circle for my experience, orange diamond for platforming Perils. Sorry, Tony. I love the level. Sorry, Tony. But I love my life and I'm so happy, but I gotta go. So from me, Risuko, here in Tokyo, to all of you out there, wherever you may happen to be, thank you. Arigato, sayonara, see you, and ciao.